I'm just going to pick up on this last video that I just made. I had to, I remember the baby being taken from me, and I was out at Dr. Ferris's home, being kept there in a room. I couldn't, the windows were closed and everything, the blinds. It was dark. And I remember Mrs. Ferris coming in, Dr. Ferris's wife, and saying, "I do believe you now." She was talking about that I had told her, I was in the ninth grade. I didn't know what being pregnant or sex or anything, I didn't know. And George and I became friends, her son. And I remember the baby being born. It was a girl. And I was lying on the table and I was screaming, and there was a tall guy to the left of me. He took the baby. And I was screaming, "Please don't take the baby." And the doctor, there's a couple other, it was a doctor, and I don't know if it was a nurse, I don't know. There was two more at least there when the baby was born, and it was taken. And then I was dropped back on Wren Road where the Jews, Solish, the Jews are the ones that helped kidnap me, the New World Order, the Illuminati, and Joe Kennedy, and my own uncle, George VI, illegal, Elizabeth's father. So the Jew, Solish, was sent there to keep tabs on me. I was dropped off there. Well, we lived in the attic. Lina, the mother of the twins, and Philip Sullivan, who was put there too. He wasn't born in that family, I can tell you that right now. So he was a kidnapped victim himself, unless I'm terribly wrong about that. But he worked for one of the agencies, and I don't think he could ever really help me in what happened. But I was put out there. Well, they weren't there anymore. We lived in the attic. And I had to try to find where they had gone, Philip and Lina Dempsey, mother of the twins, where I had been taken in 41 when I was kidnapped, grew up being told she was my mother, that sick family. And the twins, Peggy and Carl, were both dead. She'd killed them, and the family covered it up. But it was a pigsty, abuse you can't believe. So all this has been kept quiet. Because Lina would have faced the death penalty in Alabama, the gas chamber, had it been told. Plus, it would have told about me and my kidnapping and who my father, mother really are, and the takedown of the British Empire, really, by the Americans and the Illuminati, the Freemasons. So I had to track down, try to find. I can remember that, being so terrified because I had nowhere to go, and they weren't there anymore. So this was in I have to go back in the year. I finished in April or May because we were put out for cotton picking, back then in Alabama. So it was I graduated in 57, Lawrence County High, Moulton, Alabama. So this was when I started in the 10th grade, so backtrack a couple of years. So that would have been 57, 56, 55, I guess. That I found where they had moved to, Lina, during that time that I was held out at Dr. Ferris's home, and the baby was born, and Dr. Willard Irvin, Irwin lived next door. They had beautiful homes out there, the two doctors. And Price Irwin, again, I'll say, is the ones that delivered the twins, and his name was even misspelled, and he was supposed to have just got the years confused. Well, I just went back and Googled all this now that I found out Dr. Ferris's, how you spell it, and remembered his name, Farish. His son's name is George, and I had his name here. But anyway, I could go back and backtrack on some of it. But anyway, I'm going to lose track of what I'm trying to say here, so all of it's such a mess. But all these people have maintained good names. They've covered up. I've been made to look, and things done to me that's so hideous. This country does not want it told. I can guarantee, even though I put it on YouTube, and I have told, and I've even told some of the things that's been done to this country, the people, like I was doing the medical malpractice book, and I put this on the other tape, so I'm not going to get into that. Larry McDonald, and I was flown out to Larry Flint's because he was shot while I was doing the book in Marietta, Georgia. He was shot in Lawrenceville. He did an editorial on me, April of '84. So I'm just going to get to this. I was let out in front of the Jews where we'd lived, Solish, and Barbara Sue Alexander, her mother married the Jew, Solish, and he was over the textile. There was a little textile. Back then you didn't have anything in Moulton but cotton and things like this. So I was let out there where I'd lived up, what amounted to an attic up there. We did. Lina, the mother of the twins, that he killed them, and I grew up with that name of one of the twins, Peggy. So I was let out there, and they didn't live there anymore, and I tracked them down at a new housing project in Moulton. And I went in there, and I can remember Tressie Dempsey saying, "You had a baby." And I thought, are you nuts, you know? So anyway, it's too much to get into there. I'll skip to when I married my husband, John Childers, and he's CIA connections. And I look back now, he was told to marry me. I remember we were married in Orlando, Kissimmee, Florida. And back then, this is in '58, he flew me out there, and we were married August the 18th of '58. And in his brother's home, Wayne Childers. And you had to have a physical and blood test. Well, the doctor, this was wiped out of my memory until Philip told me that I grew up with the name Philip, as in Philip Sullivan, but the Philip gets into my real name, my relatives and genealogy, like Elizabeth is illegal. She's living in my home. She married Philip, another cousin of mine, Mountbatten. They stole everything. But this, you get into a name game like Geneva. You get into, after finding out all this, you look back and you think, my God, who put this together? Anyway, the doctors down there gave me the physical to get a marriage license, and they told me I had a pregnancy, and it shocked me. And I remember walking out, and John, that I was marrying, I said, you know what? I laughed. I said, you know what? They told me that I'd had a baby. And John went back there and talked to him, but I now know that John always knew. So I'm telling this because I have been a victim in this. And Lina Dempsey, the woman that killed the twins, and I was put there, that abused me, that whole family. She went to church every Sunday. People in that town, she's a psychopath. She was diagnosed by Dr. Kenneth Reagan, R-A-G-A-N. By the way, he was run out of town. He signed documents and stuff on my behalf, and Eugene Kaiser was my attorney in Atlanta. He was a former Fulton County District Attorney. But I'm looking back at Dr. Ferris. That's where the baby was born and taken from me, and I was kept like a hostage there. And this was wiped out of my memory till Philip told me to look at a picture. Philip I grew up with thinking he was a half-brother. And he told me to look at a picture, and I remembered it there on Wren Road where the Solishes were. And it started me remembering. And I'm going back in this. They're talking about the movie that they don't want released and calling North Korea all kinds of names. My God, they have covered up, the Warren Commission covered up the Kennedy assassination. That was, the Kennedys helped kidnap me in the New World Order, and my own Uncle George. So I'm going to say this. I worked for the DA after I had antifreeze put in me in April Fool of '80, because this whole thing has been a sick joke, and they don't want mine told. They think the movie about North Korean leader they have killed. I'm going to unplug this and just show you real quick before this video goes out and I can't do another one. This is a family where they took me, and this is a glossed over picture. That's me, a picture growing up. That's me. And this is my sons, Mark and Scott, an old picture, heir to the crown. This is the O'Keefe. My mom is Claudia Ruth O'Keefe. This is a double that married Wallace Simpson. My father was married to my mother, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, sister to artist Georgia O'Keefe. Now then, I'm going to go over here because my Uncle George, Elizabeth's father's illegal. He helped the New World